I was actually looking at the Twin Peaks. They had a Blu-ray set that just was re-released because David Lynch died. It came out in like 2018, I think, originally. Whenever the last series came out, they like have this whole set for like $60, but it's not full screen, which be the whole reason I would want it is to watch it in full screen, like 4K.
Right.
Because I guess back then they filmed it in that way, and they said they can't transfer it to widescreen. So in the widescreen, there's like cameramen and things like that, so they can never make it widescreen.
That brings me back to my text I sent you. This is a pretty classic text exchange. I texted, hey, have you guys ever watched a Blu-ray? Owen said no. Dennis didn't respond. That was the end of conversation.
I was going to say, who brought that up?
I was at Barnes & Noble, and I was looking at books, and I went to the Blu-ray section, and I've been very tempted to watch a Blu-ray just to see what the experience is like. I don't understand. People are still buying these things.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like a better experience.
It kind of makes sense. It's like, you guys have Vudu. You ever buy a movie on that?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
It's like a movie streaming thing, but it's only to buy movies or rent them. And so I have like probably 15 movies bought on that just over the last 20 years. And I went to go watch one, and Vudu, the name doesn't exist anymore. And then I come to realize it's called Fandango. But I'm like, it's only a matter of time until that's gone. So all those movies I bought are gone compared to a Blu-ray you could always watch.
Also, you're just so conditioned to watching things that are crappy quality. Like, we just are watching things that are streamed over the internet.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you just were to sit down and watch a Blu-ray, I think you'd be very impressed by the quality. So my goal is to watch a Blu-ray. You guys got to help me pick what movie to watch, because I will buy it. I have a Barnes & Noble gift card.
Okay. Well, I'll think of a real good one for you. But
Well,
Dennis,
just like maybe like Dune. Like, maybe I'll watch Dune on it, and it'll be like mind-blowing.
yeah, maybe. They are releasing Blu-rays for like
Twin
new
Peaks.
movies?
Everything.
Really?
Yeah, because people in England still can't stream because the infrastructure is so poor. Like, they literally, like, people in the country. And okay, let's get to our first.
Ain't it kind of blurry?
Dennis, why are you buying movies on Vudu when you could buy them on Apple Plus or Amazon?
He's
Or
Because
really?
that didn't exist.
Okay. I
20 years ago.
Okay,
Or
so,
not 20 years ago.
So now
12 years ago.
Your Vudu subscription went to Fandango.
Yeah.
Fandango is
It's not a subscription. It's just you bought movies over the years. Like I have fucking The Shape of Water because I wanted to watch it for
my
the
God.
Oscar.
That
Man,
movie was so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
But then
let's
I also have like Kung Pao and other movies I like. Go ahead, Kevin.
I love Kevin's flair. Can we get to your flair?
All right, I have a little challenge that I have not warned you guys
Is this the
about
OJ
today.
challenge?
And I thought about putting some prep into it, like Owen with his Diet Pepsi challenge, but that just didn't really make sense to do. A lot of work. So my challenge here, I am wearing a set of gloves right now because I have in my two hands. Hang on. I have
Two really cold beers.
I have two beers. One is a craft beer, and the other is a craft NA beer. So I have an NA beer and a beer.
Okay.
One is Athletic Brewing
You're
Upside
still
Down
live
Golden.
for this.
Maybe. And then the other one is called Beer for Humans Easy Hop Ale. I have the gloves on because I'm going to take a sip of each, and I don't want any variables telling me what I'm drinking. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to try to guess if it's NA or A, because I've been drinking NAs all January, and I'm convinced I won't know the difference.
Are you going to see it? Aren't they obvious? Or is this like how mine was very obvious too in it?
I don't think, no, I'm
this
just going
a
to close
shtick?
my eyes. I'm going to close my eyes. It's
Wait.
not a shtick. It's not a shtick.
Wait. I love this. So you're wearing gloves. So there's like, I don't want any variables in this, but it's like, I'm also just going to kind of close my eyes. Like,
Well, I don't want to put I don't want to put a cardboard set together like, that would have taken
can you
time.
get like two of the same cups? You have two solo cups?
No, I think the whole thing is that he knows what he's actually drinking the entire time.
No, this is not a bit. I just didn't want to get
I can't
cups.
understand
I don't
how it couldn't be a bit though.
because the cans are exactly the same. But if I were to put them into, if I were to put it into like a
the
glass,
cans are the same.
They look way different.
well, I mean, I can't. Well, they look.
This looks so different. Dude, those aren't the same cans.
The shape is
got
the same.
It's got an orange one and a white one.
The shape is the same. The can shape is the same. So if I close my eyes and I take a sip of each, I
Aren't
won't
you gonna
know.
before you close your eyes?
Fill them up.
I'm
You
gonna.
gotta mix them.
I know
guess.
they've already been. Okay, let's just get this fucking over with. It's gonna be an epic failure. But I wanted to explain one really quickly though. So I have two beers. One is an NA beer, Athletic Brewing. The other is an A beer, and it's called Beer for Humans by Rheingeist. And I chose not to get like a Bud Light because I knew I would recognize the taste of like a Coors Light or Bud Light instantly. So I grabbed a beer that is like a light beer equivalent, but it's like some craft. So
I like that they're the same, but you're wearing gloves, so you can't tell if they're different.
Well, I figured like maybe the tabs will be a little bit different. Like, yeah, like the tabs are a little bit different if you look closely. So that's where the gloves come in.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's just get this over. And they're gonna be so okay. You guys gotta. All right, so I have them.
All right, Kevin's looking at it at the beers.
Yeah.
He's opening them. And now they're in front of him.
Okay. All right.
Are you gonna
see-
spin
Wait, push that
around?
tab down.
Oh yeah,
That
true.
can touch your nose and you
Push
know.
that button.
Okay. All right.
Sonic?
So you see the two bears.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna close my eyes, and I'm
We
just
can't
gonna.
even see your eyes.
I did not think this through. Hang on. Okay.
God forbid you put any time into it.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I need to make sure this is a good flip. So,
I can't see the
we
cans
can't
now.
see the beers. No,
okay, hang on. Let's do it this way.
maybe just go on your knees.
Another classic,
Just
great
hold them up
podcast
here,
audio.
Kevin, and shuffle them like this.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna shuffle them a bunch. Can you see them?
No.
No.
Okay. My eyes are clearly closed. Okay. Confirm if my eyes are closed.
Yeah, your eyes are closed. His eyes are closed.
Okay.
And he's only looking a little bit.
I have
He's
no.
blinking
I'm
with
not.
His eyes closed.
No.
I.
I'm fucking tight.
All right. So I've spun these beers around on my desk a bunch of times. I have no idea which is which.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe that because you probably do lose track after.
I
like,
completely
four
lost track.
turns, and we start talking to him.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold up a beer. Okay. Let me do this one more time.
But we
Bro.
don't really know what label was. What,
Well, I'm
worry.
gonna hold it. Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
okay. I don't.
Don't say anything.
I'm gonna do
Dennis.
one sip, and then I'm gonna do one sip of each, and then I'm gonna chug it. One chug of each.
Okay. Ooh,
Now
yeah,
I like this game.
This sounds fun. I'm not drinking again.
Okay. Okay, so this is the beer in my hand. I am fairly confident that's the alcohol beer. Here is the beer I'm holding in front of you guys.
Okay.
For the second sip. Holy shit, they're close, but this is the NA. I can tell you right now, this is the NA. And I think it's because I was drinking these. I'm a little bit more familiar with them. But it's not like I can taste the alcohol. I can just taste the beer. Okay. I took a big swig of what I think is the A beer. Now I'm going to take a big swig of what I think... Or no, that was the NA beer. I'm going to take a big swig of what I... Can you even see any of this?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. I'm going to take a big swig of what I think is the A beer.
It's a big swig.
Okay. So but it's like, I am 90% sure I just took a sip of the A beer. Yes, okay.
This guy sipped the beer. Give him an award.
Was that
riveting.
entertaining
That
enough?
was riveting.
Okay. Any
You were
commentary?
too good at it, right?
Do you want
off
us
the
to give
bat.
you the answer?
Well, no, I know
He saw
now.
it. He
Oh,
saw it.
fuck.
But you really, I will genuinely say, I can't taste the alcohol. I can only taste the difference in taste.
It's I feel like when I've had an NA beer and then a regular, it's just that little bite you get from alcohol at the end.
Let me try.
Like,
Okay, let's do this experiment. I have both of these like about half full right now. So, all right, let's just for the clip. I have half an NA beer and I have half an A beer. I'm gonna chug both of
An A
these.
beer.
You should say normal beer because
A beer.
A beer is kind of
Okay,
confusing.
A beer is normal.
Oh, okay.
You want a beer? That's a beer. You want an A beer? That's an NA beer. Okay, so I'm gonna chug the NA beer, see if it gives me any like kickback.
Okay. He's got looking for a
He's
kickback.
giving money in his pocket after.
Cha-ching.
Whoa. That was
Any
45,
kickback?
45 wasted calories. Let's try this one. No, but it tastes like I was in college again, just chugging a beer I didn't want to chug again. Now I'm gonna chug the A beer.
This is taking, I think, like 10, 15 minutes.
Definitely less enjoyable. Okay,
George is gonna freaking hate this.
that experiment's
podcast.
over. It was no. I will say at the end of the day that does have a more. Dennis, you're right. It has a worse aftertaste.
Now, how many calories were both of those?
The NA was 45. The A was
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, it's Athletic Brewing. That's why.
Yeah. The A doesn't have calories on it.
Oh, 0. So you're at 45 even.
Yeah.
That's not bad for 2
Yeah.
beers.
It'll tell you how much alcohol is in there, but it won't tell you how bad it's going to ruin your fitness goals.
Well, at the end of the day, Athletic sponsored the pod. All
Well,
right.
Speaking of fitness goals, Kevin, are you not doing? You said that you may be dropping out of the marathon you've been training for. Is that true?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
You did drop out.
Why?
Well, I technically did not drop out, but I am now just not showing up because they don't let you drop out. They just take your money and
That's fair.
it's a wash.
That's fair. They have to prepare for everything, buy a bunch of stuff, close down the street. They need the money still.
Why are you dropping out?
Yeah. What's the reasoning?
Well, yeah. So the reason I dropped out of the LA Marathon, I'm trying to find my Zins.
Yeah, he's very stressed out.
I
He's
know.
stressed out.
What is it?
Trying to find
Is
his
this another bit?
No, you can't.
Oh, look, it's another beer.
You can't.
Let's play a game with this one.
Everybody knows you can't chug a beer and not immediately throw a Zin in it afterwards.
I think
that's
anyone that is addicted to nicotine, yes, that is very
that's
true.
like going to communion and not doing the sign of the cross afterwards. It's
I
like
thought you were going to say like going to communion and not getting the wine afterwards.
Yeah, I
I
was saying.
always skipped.
yeah, that one was. Well, we were younger and it was weird.
You're like an addict looking for a needle.
I know it is
It's weird.
insane.
Well, where'd you last have it?
Oh, okay, it's on the ground. Found it.
That's
Okay.
always the most helpful thing. Someone's like, "Where did you last have it?"
No, I didn't-
That's not going through that person's mind a fucking 1,000 times.
Okay, so I dropped out of the LA Marathon. I basically decided I'm not running it because with everything that happened in LA with those wildfires, I just didn't feel right for me to be gallivanting around that city celebrating. I just think it's kind of like my like running like my playground is not their like
Yeah.
what was that phrase like, or like their tragedy is not my playground.
My
So-
nuts, your face. I think. Saying.
It's like no, just seeing all that footage of the celebrities losing their homes and their mansions. It was just it really
Yeah.
made me decide that I should not run this thing.
Okay, now give us the real reason.
And on top of that, the marathons I've run in the past have all been in the fall. So the training was like really nice because like I would go out, run
yeah.
like 12 miles, 16 miles in the summer when it was hot outside or like nice outside. I just got fed up of running on that treadmill. Like I'm like, okay, I did 15 miles on a treadmill today. Like I can't do 7 more of these. I can't do 16
Yeah.
miles,
Yeah.
17 miles. And
That
the
does
weather
seem
has not been like great. Also, and then I think because of treadmill running, my foot really started to hurt. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. Like, I don't even want to do this. So I dropped
Yeah.
out.
The fire is a good excuse, though.
It's
Too bad
perfect.
it didn't happen closer where people could actually believe it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind you running around the city with a medal and kind
Kevin,
of just
you know
look
what?
like I'm in a good shape. I'm a winner.
A blowtorch in hand.
Yeah.
Kevin, you should stop training, but you should still try to run it and see if you can do it. Or is
Wait.
that very dangerous?
I just thought of a really funny clip. Dennis, this is on you. You haven't put together a clip in a while, but this is right up your alley. I talked about this recently on the pod, but you know when Tom Cruise carries the torch from like France to LA, there was that whole
He
thing
does
at the
it
end.
all the time.
Yeah, I know when Tom Cruise. You mean the Olympic torch?
You know the Olympic torch.
That's the thing that you go to first. Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, there's that whole like 2-minute clip of like Tom Cruise
torch. Yeah.
carrying the Olympic torch from France to LA. But
Yeah.
so you just take that footage, but at the end, like Tom Cruise arrives in LA and also the fires.
cut to like a news report. Like,
Shit, that'd be a really good clip.
In LA today, and just like people crying and like all the homes.
that is great.
I think you can do that like as like a 12-second clip and make it really funny.
Okay.
I think you could do it too.
All right.
You have my permission to use AI for that one too.
All right. Well, speaking of LA, Kendrick Lamar, LA's own, performed at the Super Bowl this past weekend, and I know Owen has some thoughts on his jeans. Everybody's saying those flare jeans are back.
Yeah, I just don't agree with that at all. I don't know. Was that the big surprise? You know how
I saw so much about it.
No, I have too, but I think the thing that I want to talk about with Kendrick Lamar's performance every single year for the Super Bowl before it goes off, they're like, there's a big surprise. Just you have to wait and see. And they always get everyone on the hook. And then the show happens and there's no fucking surprise at all. If SZA or Serena Williams was a surprise, that was the most like boring
Or
surprise.
DJ Mustard.
Yeah. I didn't even
Jackson?
no clue. Oh yeah, I forgot Samuel Jackson was on there too.
Playing Uncle Sam.
That was a big. I want to cut back to the jeans really quick because Owen, when I was
Yeah.
watching that, it reminded me of you in college wearing your True Religion jeans, and you were doing the New Boys.
Owen always defends this. Go ahead.
The New Boys. What was that dance?
Jerk.
I'm a jerk.
I'm a jerk, and you kind of those True Religions kind of were a little bit boot cut.
I have a very
On
specific
your
memory of
face every time.
Owen in his dorm room having that song on and doing that with the True Religion jeans on.
Damn, that must have been a dream. That probably looked amazing. I'm not gonna defend my True Religions like they're cool. At the time, I thought they were cool.
At the time, they were cool amongst the rapper community.
When you're in
your
your 20s, it's time to do a lot of trying out different things. So it's okay that I went ahead and wore those. But Kendrick Lamar is in his 30s and he's wearing flares or bell bottoms. Some people are saying they're not bell bottoms. And everyone is kind of going nuts. And I think it's everyone in the Midwest that doesn't have a clue with like what's good looking, and they're going to go out and buy the shittiest pair of flare jeans or bell bottoms and think that they look good, but they're going to look like shit.
The other thing I agree with that, Owen, that now flare jeans will slowly come back, and yeah, it's all cyclical. But the whole time, other than thinking about you while seeing him in those jeans, I was thinking about he was 100% wearing platform shoes underneath those.
Oh, good point.
Because he's like 5'4", 5'5",
Yeah.
and I think that was like just aesthetically speaking, all those dancers around him probably
They were
would
smaller.
have towered.
They look like, and they were like, I was just thinking that they found people all around his height, but that's a really good point.
I Google searched it and nobody was really saying it, and I would guarantee because they perfectly covered up those heels, no matter what he was doing.
Zoom in on his shoes with the clip, and we're gonna figure this out.
He was 100, and everybody's saying like all my feed is like Kendrick's king, like he owned Drake, he put an end to Drake, and I'm so sick of it.
Dude, that performance was the most boring. I thought it was super boring.
I thought it was boring.
I don't get it. And it's not that I'm a Drake fan or Kendrick fan. I'm not really a fan of either of them. If I was a fan of, I like Kendrick Lamar more than I like Drake, but it was just so boring.
Yeah,
No.
it just doesn't translate to TV. It's not a good thing to watch. And I get so annoyed because there's people on my Facebook, like my aunts, uncles, Lisa's aunts, uncles, like, and they say, worst halftime show ever. But for the last 15 years, they've been saying the same thing.
Who
So
do
I'm
they
like,
want?
so I always kind of try to defend it because I'm like, you can't hate every show.
Yeah. No, I agree because I feel like I hate a lot of them, but the last Usher and the one with 50 Cent, those last two before that were awesome.
And the Rihanna one was pretty good too.
Shakira
Those
one
were
was
songs.
good, right?
Yeah, so most of them are good. So now I think about it, I just really didn't like that one
And
at all.
yeah, I think Wait, I'm hearing some noise.
someone played the
Yeah,
I hear someone playing the
Let
recording.
me tell them to stop playing. No,
Or
they're
just get them on.
playing the
See
clarinet.
what
They
hot
have,
cross buns?
no, they're
Did you
playing.
just start?
They have
Hot
a
cross
have a
buns.
concert coming up in 2 weeks, and they're both practicing. It's a concert together.
That's a new one.
Our podcast's a little more important than them learning how to play an instrument.
Learning a valuable skill that will translate
Yeah.
into.
Episode 84 of Pick Freaks is a little more important than them learning how to play an instrument.
Get the fuck up there! Stop practicing.
Shut up! Shut up!
Go to bed at 5:30.
Man, but recap on a Kendrick Lamar performance. The only thing I liked was his Amazon chain that he had on.
Yeah, that was a good tweet, Owen. I wish that went viral. For
I
you,
know.
but
I thought it maybe would, but
I liked the one song, the Drake diss song. That song's really grown on me.
oh,
It's,
God,
it's
that
a good
song-
rap song.
I don't think so because I've heard bits and pieces of it, and I was like, I want to listen to the rap the whole way through. And I also find that song was so boring, and I don't know. Maybe that's what rap is now.
The
But I
line-
like "Money Trees" by Kendrick Lamar. It's like one of my top songs.
I don't even know that one.
It's a good one. But that song, and he's making it too much his personality. But I get it. If that's like the hottest thing and everyone cares, of course you're gonna lean into it.
Yeah.
Like if we have something going viral, like I ain't shaving, that's all we're gonna try to push forever.
I do like in the halftime show, he says, should I sing this song? And those people are like, oh, they'll sue you in the show. Because he was kind of tempting everyone. He's going to sing this song about Drake because no one thought he would, I guess. And then he sang it. And then the A minor part, I've heard that lyric. I never actually understood what they were saying.
Oh,
with it.
really?
Probably A minor.
A minor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good song.
We are old white
I
guys
know.
out here. The A
wait.
minor.
I want to.
Diddy? The A minor
Jeez.
Diddy?
This is a good transition into my next topic because, I want to say, Dennis, I know you're a Barstool guy, or at least unintentionally a Barstool guy. Did you see the Nicki Smokes take on the Kendrick performance? I thought it was really, really good. He was basically saying, like, Drake's the best rapper of all time, when the other guy who's competing with him, his entire performance is dedicated to, like, trying to take down the other guy. So, like, to compare it to sports, it's like, Kobe's better than LeBron because Kobe like did this and Kobe did this and said fuck you to LeBron, but it's like it only validates Drake more.
Kobe's
at the end
dead.
of the day.
You know,
That's true. That's true.
So, like
That's true.
you know who's really the best.
But I think it speaks only more to Drake's like status that like this guy got a Super Bowl halftime show and he's still, in order to make it interesting, he had to make it about Drake still.
Yeah, and the same goes with Serena Williams, who used to date Drake, I
Right.
guess. So she's coming out and like
Dude, she's
it's supposed to be
crip-walking.
like a diss to Drake, but it's like, why is Drake still on your mind? Like,
Exactly.
You're married. You have a kid with
Reddit founder Alexis Ohanian.
yeah, that cool cat.
And
she's crip walking nonetheless. Like that's not a great look. But
why is that not a great look, Kevin? Get into the
Your mic has gotten extremely loud.
yeah.
We all Googled the same. We all Googled the same things. I think.
Why is
So
crip
why is-
walking not good? Because it promotes gang culture.
No. Okay, so we didn't Google the same things. Well, they say that that's just like an LA culture. So they try to distance themselves. Crip walking is just LA culture, is what it is now. But Serena Williams' sister was killed by a person in the Crips. So that's
Venus?
No, I think they had another sister. It rhymes
How
with
many
Mars.
Mars?
It rhymes with Venus.
Jupiter?
Okay, that's a fun game. Based on their other names, Venus and Serena, what is the third sister's name? I got to
All
go
right.
with
I feel like that's like a Greek god name, right?
Venus and Serena and
It's gonna
Hercules?
Obelisis is my guess.
yeah.
Tony?
It always it always comes back to
Julia.
Zendaya is Michi. LeBron James is Guanji. Danny DeVito is Gorgle. All right, let's get to Luca's first game as a Los Angeles Lakers. Since
Been
we're
waiting
talking
to
LA.
talk about this.
Oh, and get into it.
Luca is on the Lakers.
Are you actually like at least somewhat up to date on
No,
the story?
I found I was like, that'll happen next year. I forgot basketball season was even going on right
That's
now.
what you responded to someone. They're like, Luca's on the Lakers. You're like, no, that's actually next year.
So I know better to talk sports with most people unless I know what I'm talking about, because otherwise I'm gonna get schooled. So I heard that he's on the Lakers, but I haven't followed basketball in years.
Owen's so
I know
into
who he is though.
Owen's so
Luka
into
is.
boating that I would love to see. I love to think that he gets a text that like Luca's on the Lakers, and he's like, "Oh, nice! I'll have to bring my boat out next Saturday."
Owen's on the Lakers.
I'm on the bay right now. That's sweet. I'll just look for him. But no. So just to give you the quick explanation, Owen. Basically, this guy got traded out of nowhere, one of the best players in the NBA. Now playing on the biggest franchise in the NBA, next to LeBron, the biggest name in the NBA, and got traded for scraps. So basically, the running theory now is that this
the NBA is rigged.
The Mavericks got kind of big dicked, and we're just like, dude, like this Luca guy's fat, like just please, like you got to get rid of this guy. We'll give you him, like we'll do you like a favor and like help you get rid of him to some new GM, and like kind of just like tricked him into like trading this lifetime player for scraps. That's what I've read. Dennis, what is your take on it?
Well, the other take I've heard is, and Drew, the listener, is big into this, that the owner of the Mavericks is trying to tank the team to bring it to Vegas because they own a bunch of like properties in Vegas. So
I think it should be illegal to move teams, period.
I don't know, St. Louis to like LA, that I guess they already had a team.
Well,
though.
they already were LA to St. Louis, so I think that was fine.
Yeah.
But the Rams went back to that.
Or the Raiders to Vegas seems fine because the 49ers are there already.
Yeah.
And it's like, and Vegas, like it's so cool to go see a team in Vegas.
Okay. All right, fine. I take back everything I just said.
Easily convinced. Okay.
Yeah, like the GM.
Okay, so yeah, that's the other running theory. But I watched the first 10 minutes of the Luca's first game on the Lakers.
Moving a team from Dallas, though, right? Sorry, back to this. They're moving it from Dallas. He wants to move from Dallas to Vegas.
That's the theory. Yeah,
that would be insane because that's not like moving it from.
That's a lot of trucks.
But they already have two Texas teams. They already.
Yeah, where are they going to get all these vehicles?
That's a long drive. Owen's trying to say.
Jeez, Louise.
I'll have to text him my Penske referral.
Are they taking the building down piece by piece?
Imagine Owen's like, this doesn't make sense physically.
If each of the players loads up their car, they'll save a bunch of money. Okay, but I was just so curious about watching this first game. I don't watch a ton of NBA, but I watched the first, like the opening to Luca's first game as a Laker, and it became very apparent to me, to Owen's point, Owen, congrats, that the NBA is 125% rigged.
There's so much money in LA, and that's all anyone cares about.
Okay, so here's my new theory, and I'll explain why. Because they did the pre-games for the Lakers, and the entire commentary by like the guys broadcasting, the entire time it was almost like they were talking about like the world post 9/11. Like they were so flabbergasted on the fact that this Luca guy was one of the best players in the world, was now on the Lakers. They couldn't wrap their heads around it, and it's all they could talk about. And then they finally got to they kept cutting in between LeBron and Luca and LeBron and Luca. And Dennis, you've seen LeBron live and on TV a bunch of times, and you know his personality. Like he's like Mr. Smiley, Mr. like every new guy on his team. That's my new best friend. I vouch for this guy. This is my guy. I brought him in. I convinced him to come here. He was not doing that with Luca. They traded the guy that LeBron tried to win a championship with to the Mavericks out of nowhere. One of LeBron's agency's guys. They randomly, apparently without LeBron's
you think
knowledge.
LeBron's mad about this?
I think he is, yes. Because I watched the pre-games. And they did the whole starting lineups, and they did LeBron 4th, Luca 5th. And you couldn't believe the look in LeBron's eyes when he was 4th and not 5th.
I'm about to bust your theory. I just watched a clip like today about how LeBron texts Luca and asked, "Where do you want to be in the lineup?" And Luca said, "I want to be last, but only the first time." And then I'm like, I
Oh,
don't care where I'm at.
seriously?
Yeah,
Bummer.
and it's
Well-
Luca saying this.
Also rigged.
Fuck, I don't know. It just was so apparent in my watching the
I
eye
think
test.
LeBron is he wants to win a championship. I don't think
needs
he
to-
gives a fuck about these guys as
They
much
should
as you
have
would
traded
think.
Bronny. That would have been funny. They got rid of Bronny and brought on Luca.
Dennis, you just killed my fucking theory, and it hurts. I don't know.
I'll send you the clip.
It was
hear
just a
him
look in
really-
his eyes, though.
Did you
It
hear
just did
my
not
really-
seem like he was involved.
Did you hear my really funny take?
No, are you sucking on a mint or something though? What are you eating? Because I just hear.
It's just a Zin, the hard candy Zin.
All right, well, Dennis blew up my theory. I still stand by it. I do not think LeBron played a hand in it. I do think they just brought Luca to the Lakers on a whim out of just ratings savings and making the NBA interesting. And I think LeBron is maybe playing along with it, but I do not think he was the puppet master behind it, which he loves to be the puppet master. And I do not think he was.
They have said the ratings have dropped a
Yes.
lot this year.
And they
compared
just
to the NFL,
and the ratings
which
are
keeps going
better
up.
when the Lakers are good, and people are sick of watching LeBron.
Yeah,
and
who's the dominant team? I mean, people
If
aren't
it's the
thinking
Cavs and the Oklahoma City Thunder, it's not a good league. Right now,
Yeah.
it's the Cavs and Oklahoma City and Boston, but the two front runners right now, I would say, are Oklahoma City, Boston, and then the Cavs.
Good
Yeah.
for Cleveland,
Yeah,
No, they're
which
gonna
no
fucking
one
ship
ever
us off.
cares about. Yeah, no one ever cares about anything going good for Cleveland.
But all right, let's talk about Kanye
The
now.
Sonics are really good this year, though.
You had an inside track on them coming back, didn't
They're
you?
coming back. They're still coming back. I'm telling you,
What's
You
the
just
latest
wait.
you've heard?
a lot from my neighbor.
the Chipotle guy.
Yeah, well, Starbucks guy. So, all right, the original owner, one of the original owners of the Sonics was the Starbucks owner, and he's the one who sold them to go to OKC. So now we got a new Starbucks CEO, and he's probably going to own the Supersonics. That's
It's
just
kind
how
of
it
crazy
works.
that the team went to Oklahoma City because you think Seattle was a lot bigger of a city.
Yeah, I don't get what the
Oklahoma has
reason
a
was
lot
because-
of money in that little
So
tiny
does
town.
Seattle, though. Seattle
Seattle
has way
has
more money.
Seattle has like fuck you money, like tech money. Oklahoma has like oil money, which is just like a whole different kind of. I've seen Landman. I know what's up. It's just a whole different kind of like it's money like these. It's people you don't know. Like there's people probably just as rich as Jeff Bezos, but you don't know them. You know.
Yeah,
Okay, but no, we got to get into our other guy who's rich again, Kanye West.
Okay,
Have you guys
it-
been following the saga?
Kevin, never mind. I'm not even going to snuff your thing.
I'm listening.
GDP of OKC was 66,000 per capita.
it's a wrap.
GDP of Seattle is 120,000. So it's more than double. So it still doesn't make sense. Way more money in Seattle.
I read a whole book about it, and I
All
don't
right,
remember
you are
any of
definitely
it.
more qualified than me. If you actually read something,
I did. I read this book called
rather than
Boomtown,
my
and I might not be
thoughts.
sourcing it correctly, but I do believe there was like a really strong reason for it. It was,
Take it.
and I think it might have more just been like a fuck you to Seattle because they didn't want to build that stadium
Probably-
or whatever.
probably- I think that's what it was.
Yeah,
There's too
but
much
I do
money.
think there's a ton of money in Oklahoma City as well.
Fair.
But Dennis, Kanye West, what do you think of this going on?
I guess he had a Super Bowl commercial. Did you guys see that? I never
I-
saw it.
It
Did he
wasn't
really?
nationwide. It only
Oh.
went to certain. So there's like you could do ones like the $8 million commercials are the ones that are nationwide, and then they have smaller sectors that keep going down where it's like you pay a couple $100,000, then your local commercials where they're more.
It is funny because
not
I
as
was watching the
expensive.
Super Bowl and my younger self didn't know that. Like I was watching it this recent Super Bowl and I was like, how? Like when I was younger, I would have seen like a car commercial and have been like, man, John Levin's Ford, they really are doing well this year. I didn't know the difference between like a local
a Super Bowl commercial.
and a green screen in the background. Gee whiz.
So he had a commercial. So I guess it was pretty almost nationwide. But he did the same thing last year. But the guy on Twitter, have you guys been reading his stuff?
He is.
He is.
Even. I love the guy, but he is beyond saving. Now.
I don't
He
like
is
him anymore. Like it's kind of
I
just
have to
ruined
take a
everything.
break.
Sad.
I
Yeah.
agree. I don't like him anymore. He could maybe redeem himself, but it is like ludicrous. I was trying to find his tweets because I don't follow him, but it was like impossible to find his Twitter because I think they kind of pushed it away.
No, he
even if you type
deleted
in,
it.
No, I ended up finding it
Oh,
and saw him. This wasn't today. It was a couple
okay,
days
yeah,
ago.
because it's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
But
Um,
somebody pointed out that it's like the difference between money is Kanye West and the guy on the street like asking you for change, because like he is just spitting out crazy stuff.
Yeah, he's just off his meds and like, so he's basically talking about how he likes Hitler, Nazi stuff, and then he tweeted like porn for like an hour and a half, and
Like-
I felt for you, Owen, because I was out out eating lunch or something, and I pull up my Twitter, and it was already on Kanye's page, and it refreshed, and then it was just like porn, and so you mentioned when you were at your conference, same thing, but
Yeah, you have to be careful opening up your X account, otherwise it can be
Yeah.
dangerous.
the guy is gone crazy, and so he did this commercial, and he had this whole store of like he like recently launched like cheaper clothes, I guess. So like you could get a t-shirt for like $20 and slides for $35. And so he had this whole store of all these different clothes, and then he launched this Super Bowl commercial, and he deleted all the clothes, and all that was left was a Nazi t-shirt. That's the only thing you could buy.
After the thing aired, all you could buy was that's what?
Yeah,
Just
so
a
his
weird
commercial he
statement
paid for
piece?
was like, go to Yeezy.com. And then the only thing there was a Nazi t-shirt.
Speaking of, really quickly, did you guys listen to Antonio Brown and Theo Vaughn?
No.
I gave it an open-ended listen. I could make it through 10 minutes. I take back everything I said about that guy. He is insane, cannot even put together a coherent sentence. I don't
really? I thought you were
he-
going to say the opposite.
No, he has like, with all due respect to him being a successful person, he talks like he's in 6th grade. Like, it is insane and unlistenable. I made it
that's
through 5
funny.
minutes.
That's funny.
It was so hard.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, now I really want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I was like, I put it out
Maybe
like right
that was
before
the
I went to
whole
bed.
point. He wanted a lot of people to listen to it, so he's gonna get more.
Maybe. But yes, Kanye, did you have any standout moments from his recent
Episode? Did the shirt come in yet, Dennis? Did you?
what it
No,
cost?
not yet. No.
You can't even tell what it had. Like, if it's a cheap T-shirt, it's gonna look the same underneath another shirt, right? So
Yeah, just it's like a normal undershirt.
You wear it as an undershirt.
cheap T-shirt's a cheap T-shirt.
I just need more white tees, like
The
collar.
white tee with like your collar, like a collared button up. You're like, God, no one's gonna notice it. I just got it because it's a cheap shirt. It just clearly shows.
That's hilarious.
Simple.
Oh shit, that would be a
Obvious.
good. I think you should leave sketch.
Oh,
Something
that
like
would
that.
be. I think it's pretty relatable too, because I wear normal I wear like graphic T-shirts underneath shirts all the time.
Yeah. No, the one thing that stood out is he admitted to. He said, "Yeah, I hit women." So
Oh, yeah,
and then
that
he
was-
like went on
that's
some huge
awful,
rant
too.
how he's gonna die and all. I do not think if this guy stays the same, he will not be alive in like 5 years.
No, he's toast soon.
Yeah.
Or like just straight up fucking prison. I think he's.
The guy, there was text leaked of him like talking to his assistant, and he treats everyone like total shit. Like
Yeah.
too, he's not like just crazy out in he just all he cares about is himself.
Yeah.
Guy's nuts.
But it was crazy that like years ago, I was wishing that he'd stop doing the church stuff. I'm like, oh my God, this is so annoying. Like, just get back to normal rapping where you could cuss again. And then he just went, whoop.
I think it just goes to show you that you need a little bit of God in your life. It grounds you.
He needs more than God in his life.
He-
He's really losing it.
He is the definition of flew too close to the sun. I don't think his stuff is unwarranted. I'm sure he has some solid reasoning in his head, but I think he's seen too much, been put through too much, and
Yeah.
whatever he's tweeting does not make sense to the general population.
Here's my thing. I think he has an album coming out that is called Bully, and who's a bigger bully than Nazis? So I think he's trying to really push that. That's his. I'm not saying it's a good theory or a good way to do it, Dennis.
Dennis, I want to ask you a question because you mentioned that you've been working with Upwork contractors, and it made me laugh recently because I started following the Onion newsletter, which Hasn't been that great, but every once in a while it gives me one headline that makes me chuckle. And I saw this one. The headline was "Gig Slave Goes Public with $84 billion valuation." It's just like a company like Upwork, but called Gig Slave, making $1 billion for like these people that you pay to do work for like $5. Tell us about your experience with Upwork.
So I've hired a few people on Upwork, and recently what happened was we're looking for a guy that could help with email deliverability because we're trying to do like basically spam email.
I know this world. Yeah, continue. I'm interested.
So it's very complicated because you can't use your domain because you don't want to like get your normal domain on spam. So you have to like rev one up over a month, and you have to do all this crazy shit. So we're like, let's just hire someone. And so my brother actually found someone. He's like sounded good and all this sort of stuff. And then I talked to my brother. I'm like, let me talk to this guy like just tomorrow about technical stuff. And my brother sent him a message and he said, hey, do you have like a few minutes today to like talk about technical stuff? And he's like, no, I don't have time today. He's like, actually, I can talk right now in 5 minutes. And then my brother's like, we can't talk in like 5 minutes. And the guy's like, okay, you know what? I don't want you as a customer anymore. Like, we're like, okay. It's like, dude, we've known each other for 12 hours. The guy was such a dick. Yeah.
Unreasonable expectations.
He's like, I don't want you to waste my time again.
Oh my gosh.
We're like,
crazy.
Okay. Man.
Wait, let me get into the nitty gritty. So you were trying to contract a guy to help you with email deliverability. Would you care to share how much you were willing to pay for this contractor?
Up to 1,000, I'd say.
Damn. So this person is not just like some outsourced peasant in Bangkok. This is somebody with a little bit more skill.
Outsourced peasant in Bangkok.
No, someone with more skill.
I like that.
But I have used like outsourced
I stand
people
by that.
that
I stand by that.
1/3 the price of an American person.
Definitely don't pay that person $1,000 either.
No, we're not going to use that guy now.
The outsourced. Sorry, I'll let you guys go on. Oh.
I do love to picture this guy though. What did you see a picture of him, Dennis?
Yeah, I did. I found his LinkedIn.
Oh shit! Dox him right now.
Dox him.
No. He just looked like an IT like middle-aged nerdy type guy who thinks he's like a genius.
Wow, that was not what I was picturing. I was picturing like a little more slimy looking.
No, I mean he looked
not
he
a
didn't
nerd.
look like he was happy.
Okay, that's good.
$1,000 per what?
No, I think he was like $75 an hour.
$75 an hour. Okay,
which is I guess reasonable on, or that's pretty high on Upwork. I mean,
it sounds like a lot, but
yeah,
who knows?
That's all I got on it. Next.
All right. Well, since that made us all feel romantic, and you wanted to talk about Valentine's Day plans.
Do you guys do Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I'll answer that. No. We don't do the day of. We try to do like a go to dinner, a nicer dinner that week. And then, but yeah, it's just because from what I understand, like you go to these restaurants, it's a fixed menu. It's such a hullabaloo. Like it's just not worth it by the time you actually do it. Is that correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Hullabaloo made me laugh. That's the only reason I laughed. So you do it the same week?
Yeah, try to just go on some nicer outing the week of.
So you do celebrate it. It's like it's your birthday, but we'll do it on the weekend because you have to work type deal. Okay. What about you, Dennis?
Yeah, I do like the same. Like I'm gonna get flowers tomorrow because I'm not gonna go on Valentine's Day to get flowers. Get them tomorrow, give it to her, so she has it on Valentine's Day, and then we're going out to dinner Saturday.
You going for the $70 flowers?
These sound like such
70.
I don't know if this sounds so Midwest to me, or it just sounds like people that are like, I just got to get out of the stadium before the game's over so I could get out of here.
No, because dude, it's to go on Valentine's. That's like, are you going out on Valentine's Day?
No, I'm not.
Oh, what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
What I'm not saying. I'm not just saying. I didn't ask if you guys go out to eat on Valentine's Day. I was just curious as what like you guys actually do, because some people don't do anything at all.
And we want to know what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I guess flowers and dinner. What? I mean, I guess. What else?
All right, I got a lot planned. So luckily, this comes out on Friday, so I'm not giving anything away. But
happy Valentine's Day!
Decorating a little bit of the car, somehow. Like on the
Oh
visor.
wow,
I
this
saw
is way more than I've ever done.
this
Go ahead.
is something I saw on Instagram. I was like, oh, that looks easy and like can make her happy. And I got a bunch of, I don't know, just like stuff like candy and like snacks and I don't know, those face masks and like some other stuff. And then I bought
Face masks.
like the like
Jason.
those
No, I'm picturing like
Freddy
COVID.
Krueger.
I'm picturing like COVID face
Yeah.
masks.
So put that shit on. No, like those
Eyes wide shut ones.
the ones that you could do like the
The one that Owen wore for his flare.
Oh,
yeah, no, the
yeah,
full
yeah.
face mask thing and like some of
okay.
those other stuff. And then I bought like this at home dinner making kit.
Oh,
thing
that's
from a
romantic.
restaurant that we have. Instead of going out, I'm like, that's a perfect option because it's really good food. It's really fucking expensive, but
Here's
I'm
what
excited for it.
here's what
Oh,
I'm doing
that's
for
pretty good.
contrast. Other than just going to dinner, card, flowers, there's now a running joke in my home with me and Megan where there's this kind of like, you ever heard of like an impossible task? Like just a task that like has been sitting there like on your plate for just forever that you just can never bring yourself to do. Megan asked me to hang this coat rack probably like 4 months ago and it's still sitting on the ground. And now like every time like I'm like just sitting around bored, I'll be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go hang that coat rack or something like that. Like as a clear joke that I'm never gonna do this.
Oh, Kevin, you should get up at like 4 in the
That's
morning.
what I'm thinking. Just
and
have that.
No, but be loud as shit. Like just pretend
Hammer.
Yeah.
Clink, clink,
Pretend
clink,
like you're
clink,
doing
clink.
something really nice, but it's just
He sold 3 coats. Like just screaming.
drag her out of bed to take a look at it too.
Yes, I think I'm gonna finally try to hang that coat rack. I'm not gonna do it, but I'm gonna finally try
Just
to
put some
hang.
holes in the wall and be like, I tried.
That's what I'm doing. Dennis, anything special other than what you mentioned? Oh, and I respect your plans. Those are good.
No, I think just me getting a babysitter is a lot of work. So
Ooh,
that was
that's-
basically
That's
it.
good.
Upward.
I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
You did great.
Yeah. Have a virtual babysitter. She's based in the Philippines and set the camera up.
I like that.
She watches the kids.
Here's the front door camera.
When I walk in the door, I throw the keys at the computer like, house is yours, honey.
I like that concept. I never heard that.
Ooh,
A
and then
virtual
you have to
babysitter.
Then you have to take the babysitter home after.
In my car, put the laptop on the seat,
I
take the flight. to
I
the
think
Philippines.
I think this is a good litmus test for AI. Like we'll know AI has superseded like humanity when Dennis will finally trust AI to take care of his children for him.
I feel like
Yeah.
he's trying to get there. He's like one of the people. He's going to the conferences. He's using AI. He's trying to train it so hard. He's like, I just want to fucking have AI take care of my kids.
Yeah, you could just introduce your kids to ChatGPT and like any question you want to ask me, just ask this thing while I'm out,
Yeah.
and it'll tell you what to do.
I have used it for bedtime stories because I get so they want me to make one up every night. So I'm like, this computer can make up the best stories. Like you have to fucking just tell it what you want, and it will tell you a perfect story about it. So I can be like, tell a story about Freddie and Ozzy going down into a magical woods and getting a sword.
So they want a personalized story. Like you can't just read a book off the shelf.
So needy.
I know.
So
I want a story about me, Dad.
So every night, I mean, it's not always about them, but they don't want me to read a book. So every night I have to think of a story. And dude, I've been doing it for like 3 years.
Damn.
Fucking, yeah.
Is there
I
any
think
of the stories that you were like, damn, this shit was?
Oh yeah.
I
might
feel like you've
fucking
told us
write
one
this
before. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I steal a lot. And so like
You
I've done-
steal a lot.
I've done The
Just in general.
Leftovers. I've done Lost.
Okay.
I've done House. I've done but I make them kid version of that.
Speaking of, Megan's
That's
been watching a
fucking
show
genius.
on Hulu. Have you guys heard of Paradise?
Yeah, I watched the first episode. Just
She's
2
really
episodes.
into it.
First episode was good. Second episode, I'm like, all right.
I can't get into Sterling K. Brown. He's so distracting.
Why?
God.
He just
Overacts?
He's very muscular. He overacts. It's just like he just stands out on screen. He doesn't look like a regular person.
And I imagine him crying. Like he's always
Yeah.
about to cry.
I think that comes down to the overacting thing. He always just like his eyes are like a little too like
Paradise the show was so good, and then there's like big twist at the end of the first episode, and then you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if I like this now. And I thought I would like that twist when I first read about it, but kind of turned me off.
What are you watching other than Twin Peaks right now?
Better Call Saul.
Oh, that's an interesting
And
one.
you said that's better than.
Yeah, I think it is. I just
What's that better than Brokeback Mountain? I couldn't think of what's the name of the
Breaking
of the show?
Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Have you seen it,
vibes.
Kevin?
No, but I've heard like really good things. I feel
You
like
would like. I think you would like Better Call Saul better because Breaking Bad was a little too actiony, where Better Call Saul is more like a lawyer drama.
Damn, I love Breaking Bad. That show.
Yeah,
is so
it's good. But I like Better Call Saul too.
But you think Better Call Saul's better?
Yeah, maybe it's because it's new to me.
Yeah.
And if I was like,
I've heard that for years. That Better Call Saul, like
6 seasons.
Oh damn, that's
and nobody's rewatching Breaking Bad right now. Like that show had a moment. It came and went. Like nobody.
just watched it.
I rewatched it not too long ago.
But not rewatch, first watch.
I just don't hear people talking about it same way I talk about. I reference Mad Men once a day.
Actually, my Uber driver the other night was watching it too. Breaking Bad.
While he's driving.
Yeah.
Owen, what are you watching other than Twin Peaks?
Speaking of Nazis, I just watched a documentary on HBO where they're taking down the Texas white
is that
supremacy group. Dude, they're such. I don't want them to come after me by any means. They're so like dumb. They literally just kill themselves the whole time. It's like
What do you mean? Who's they?
The Texas Nazis.
They kill.
Their rules are you follow the leader comes up with a rule or like something that you have to do. If you don't, you get the shit beat out of you or killed. And it's a bunch of people not following the rules and then they kill them. But then they are still working with, they pretend like they only like white people, but all of their drug deals are done with like Mexican people or gangs, and they're like, we don't care their skin color, business is business. I'm like, you guys make no fucking sense. You can't stick to one thing and you're cannibalizing yourself.
It's a cult. It's a cult at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it's insane. They do meth, they kill themselves.
A lot like that movie we both watched, The Order. Like that kind of showed how like white supremacy groups start. Interesting.
Oh, is that good?
No,
I thought it was going to be incredible, and it just was. It was
just never a moment where I was like hooked.
No, me either.
But so I wanted to try to sell you guys on a show that I started. I'm only an episode and a half in. It's this show called Northern Exposure. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
No.
All right, so here is my quick sales pitch on it. Came out the same year as Twin Peaks. I think it came out 4 or 5 months after Twin Peaks premiered. I would say it's like a perfect counter to Twin Peaks. It has the exact same aesthetic, filmed in Snoqualmie Falls, Owen, like places like that.
Okay, I'm hooked already.
And it's kind of like this. I would say it's almost like Dennis, I know you like Scrubs and Shrinking. It's like it's not as weird and vibey as Twin Peaks. It's not like some Leftovers type show. It's more like a precursor to the dramedy, like a Shrinking or like a show that like
There's
is
some
like
serious moments.
Yeah, mostly. I would say this one's mostly like a serious cultural commentary with some like lighthearted, silly moments, and it's just all about this guy who is a doctor in New York and gets somehow roped into becoming a doctor in this small Alaskan town. And it locked me in on the first episode. I'm so pumped to go back and finish the second one.
What's the name again?
Northern Exposure. And I think one of the reasons I was so drawn to Twin Peaks, because I haven't been finding myself wanting to watch more, is I love that it was filmed the year that we were born. So it's just like such a cool like time capsule into like what 1990 was like. So this show, I don't know if you guys like would want to watch more than one episode, but it's at least worth watching one episode.
Where can we stream it?
I was watching it on Prime or Paramount, one of those two.
Okay, I have those. That's always such a nerve-wracking thing where you're really into a show or like someone's describing it and you're like, what is it on? And you don't have that streaming service. You're like, fuck.
It does seem to have the same cult following as like Twin Peaks, though. Like,
interesting.
Like, people make podcasts about it, but it's just not the first one that comes to mind.
Interesting. Okay, I am totally sold.
Yeah.
Dennis, I think, is sold too. I think he's gonna ditch Twin Peaks because he's in a lull right now.
Because you guys both know what I'm talking about. Like, I keep trying to go back to Twin Peaks, and it's such a chore.
Dude,
it's rewarding, but it's a chore.
Season 1 is so different than season 2. I think they're like, you can't be that weird. So it's not as weird. And there's not as much going on where you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to focus on? You know what you're basically supposed to be focusing on, and there's a clear path of what's going on. So
I'm only 16 episodes in, but the first 9 episodes, I feel like
I'm only 16 episodes in. That's so
we are
deep.
not built for this. We are not built for this. Watching 22 episodes per season.
That's the reason I haven't rewatched Lost, because I'm like, 22 episodes in a season, like there had to be some dull moments. I'm like, I don't want to put the time into that. At least these like HBO shows and stuff are now only like 8 episodes.
It is insane that they used to do that. You're like, dude, just fucking end the season.
Yeah,
wrap it up.
Every week.
We're too used to 6 seconds of content to for us to go back to that much. Dennis, finish us strong. Tell us about the old guys at the bar this past weekend.
This is not a good take. I want to hear this already.
I think we got a lot to take about who the old guys are at the bar.
Yeah, who were these old? So you went to a bar
out with George, Drew the Listener, and Mr. B. So a big audience there. I don't think Mr. B really listens to us anymore, but we lost him.
Too woke.
I think Drew the Listener and George does. But we went out to a bar. We walk in. We're like at least 12 years older than most of the people at the bar.
Where did you go out to a bar?
Lakewood. Marriott.
Lakewood, for those that don't know, is kind of like a younger crowd. So it's not like you're walking.
It's where people live post-college.
Young professionals. And some residential older people, but like for the most part.
It's a lovely area, in my opinion.
It's a cool city. So I live 2 miles from that. So whenever I go out, that's where I usually go, like to meet up with people. But yeah, we go to this bar and we're like at least 12 years older than everyone else. And we were talking to the bartender and she's like, I'm old. We're like, how old are you? She's like, I'm 22. And we're like, you're old? That's as fucking young as you can get.